Ellen McCauley at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York. And you know, last week I talked about a topic that I hadn't talked about ever, silence. And I don't know if any of you thought about silence at all this week or became a little bit more aware of it, but I know I did. You see, I do these meetings, but I also live the topic. And I noticed that silence, and I like it. I like some quiet. And I'm trying to find more pockets of that quiet in my life. And as I was, researching the silence and the quiet, I saw a lot of information on taming your tongue and oral fixations and the whole thing with this little thing right here where the food goes in. And I realized we never really had a topic on taming the tongue or oral fixations and why so many of us feel this almost unconscious need to constantly be putting things in here. And let's talk about that tonight. The first thing I want to talk about is the things that come out of our mouth before we talk about the things that go into our mouth. And one of the things, if we look at the back of the food log, is actually a Bible verse that I read that I absolutely loved. In James it says, everyone should be quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Most of us are quick to talk, and fast to speak, and fast to anger. What's so important is to be doers of the word and not just hearers only. This is true in our Christian life. It's also true in our Pray It Off life. We come here and we say, you know what, maybe I should be eating baked fish, and maybe I should be not having the coleslaw and the fries. And then the next thing you know, you're screeching your brakes in front of Doug's Fish Fry, and everything goes out the window. Also, if you think you're religious and you don't bridle your tongue, it's been very challenging at work to give up complaining and gossiping for Lent. And one of the things that really helped me a great deal is I told everyone. I said, yeah, I gave up gossiping and complaining for Lent. And here's what people do. They'll come into my office now and they go, hi, Elle. I know you gave up complaining and gossiping for Lent, but I just want to tell you this one thing. And so then they'll talk and talk and talk, and then I won't say anything. And they're like, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry that I came in here. I go, did you notice I didn't say anything? I didn't say anything. But they're saying these things to me. They started with, I know you gave it up. But they feel compelled to tell someone. And if you work for an office, there's always gossip, isn't there?
Yes.
Oh, isn't there? Guess what I heard? And then my next response is supposed to be, guess what? And I gave it up. Also, if you think you have truth in your heart, you shouldn't be slandering with your tongue. And that's true of anything. If you say you're a good Christian and you put venomous things about any political leader on Facebook, I don't see that's showing Christian love. Even if you might dislike some political person's opinions or the way they're handling a job, if you're putting some terrible things out there for the world, it's not so much you're walking in the Christian word. And then another person who talks about the taming the tongue a lot is my BFF, Billy Graham, who I just love so much. And he had this article on his website that says, the problems of the world could be solved overnight if there was no anger, no profanity, no lying, no grumbling or complaining. I mean, we're supposed to ask, is it true? Is it kind? Does it glorify Christ? I feel like we're under attack in so many ways besides the coronavirus. I mean, we're watching, the Cosmos. And I'm like, oh, I love Cosmos. It's so great. And then they were talking about something, and they go, and this is BCE. And I'm like, BCE? What the heck is BCE? I know about BC, before Christ, and I know about AD, after death. Did you know they changed it? Yeah, it's before the Common Era and after the Common Era.
Something like that.
Something like that. They wanted to take Christ, so they no longer say BC and AD. The scientists. Yeah, all of them, all those shows, Nova, Cosmos, they say before Common, Google it, before BCE, and I was like, I go, what does that mean, BCE? I paused it, I started looking it up, before Common Era and after Common Era. I don't know the after as well as I know the BCE, but it upset me. It upset me that they wanted to take Christ out of BC and AD. And I said to Bob, why can't I let this go? Because it happened so silently, so subtly, so subversively that all of us in this room didn't even know about it. I'm not an idiot. I read a lot of books. I watch the news. I watch all these shows like Nova and Cosmos. Google it. It upset me. Here's the thing. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it glorify Christ? People even change that to say, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? I think it's better to say, does it glorify Christ? The tongue is a small member, but it affects us mightily. I'm sure there's people in this group that have gotten upset with me because I've said something that they might have taken a certain way when I didn't mean it. I have only love for people in this group. I don't judge anyone. You could come in here tonight and gain 10 pounds. I wouldn't judge you. I'd be like, oh my gosh, are you okay? What happened? Oh, I've been there. I've done it. I've seen it. Not just once, but many, many times. One of the reasons I will never judge you is because I walk the same walk you walk, and it is challenging. And I just think that in order to tame our tongues, tame anything that comes out, we got to work on it. And it is work. It is so work because it's so easy to get sucked into that gossip. Because you always want to know. Like, what do you mean somebody took the blah, blah? How could they take it? Are you sure it didn't fall out? Oh, no, I'm sure blah, blah took it. Really? Why do you think he took it? Well, because don't you know he hates her guts, and because back in 1980 he did this and she did that. And then all of a sudden it's a snowball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We need to just stop it. Nip it in the bud. And you know, I love this from Bambi. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all. I didn't know that was started in Bambi. I thought it's been around forever. And here it's from Bambi. And I love Bambi. But when his mother died, I can't take it. Don't take me there when Bambi's mother died. Also, the heart, the head, and the mouth are all connected. You know, sometimes people will say something and they'll say, I'm just kidding. If you get upset about it. Do you ever notice that? They'll go, I'm just kidding. And then you think, really? Because my mother always says, the truth comes out in jest. You know, like, oh, Ellen, you're looking kind of fat. Really? You think so? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. And certain things, is that funny? Am I laughing? You know, I think that the heart, head, and mouth are all connected. If you have it in your heart to be kind, your mouth will be kind. Ask God for help. He is there to help us. The benchmark number 1, do not slander others. Don't complain. You know who you can complain to? Jesus. Like, I did something and I really worked very, very hard, and it came out really good because I asked Jesus to help me with it. And I did it fast, furious, and almost flawless. Not one person said, wow, that's incredible. You did a really good job. Finally, at 65 years old, I realized that's okay. Jesus helped me. He knows I did a good job. He knows I tried so hard and worked so hard. I got a partner there. You don't need that validation from the world because Jesus is right there holding your hand going, right on, girl, I'm here to help you. You did a good job. Benchmark number 3, make your yes be yes and your no be no. What I always notice is that people who say,
Did it quit on you?
yeah, people who always say, honestly, or I never lie, they're usually, the next thing they say is going to be a lie, or cross my heart. I'm telling you honest, you let your yes be yes and your no be no. Let what you say be true. Are we still filming? Okay. Bob's leaving, but that's okay. If anyone thinks himself to be religious and yet doesn't bridle his tongue, he deceives his own heart, and his religion is worthless. Think about that. You know, you go to church, you try to read the Bible, but in your spare time, you're crucifying people with your words.
I didn't do it yet.
All right, and I'm done, Bob, with that video.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ready?